and a mercenary. Right? And the question here being, what are we? Are we on a mission to do something, to make an impact, or are we here for the money? And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I am for this, and I am not necessarily against this. This is not, again, these are really false dichotomies sometimes, but they help us find our way. But if we are all in this one, we're gonna be it's gonna be very tough, and I'm gonna detail why. But if we're all this one too, if your mission is I don't know, somebody said one time, if your mission is to teach underwater basket weaving, that might be a tough sell. Just saying. But it's so you definitely in media veritas, right? And the truth is in the middle somewhere. But really, what we want is we want to be sort of leaning towards our mission. And why is that? This is my first takeaway from the content and commerce. And I've already sort of mentioned this. But really, we're talking about human motivation. Oh. Okay? Because in the end, these human organizations that we run, the biggest leverage of this human capital is that, the human capital that we have. And so, human motivation, sure, a lot of us are motivated by money, some more, some less, up to a certain extent. But we are more motivated for more human-like missions, for more things that really mean something in the greater scheme of things, that can improve lives, that we can, I don't want to say change the world, because a lot of times it's not about changing the world. It's just about tackling a particular corner of the world and just making it easier. And that's it. And that will in itself carry a lot of value and a lot of trueness. Because see, if you don't have this, if you don't have a real clear vision, right? The word that I chose here for the first takeaway, culture. And this is what I always tell companies. So what are you guys going after? Like, what's the big idea here? And this is what gets down to the core of why should anybody buy from us? Why? Why should they even pay attention to what we have to say? And so the reason that this is so important is, again, we can juxtapose two companies, Amazon and Walmart, okay? And now Amazon has a very clear mission, right? Now you could say, well, yeah, they're all after the money. Well, you could say that, and I certainly agree. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, but they really, for all of Jeff's flaws. I'm speaking hearsay. I don't know Jeff. Maybe one day I'll get to meet him, but for all his flaws of his extreme frugality and sometimes the way that he treat employees, again, from what people say, he really has a mission of really stripping down and simplifying things so much. Right? Richard Koch calls this a price simplification. Right? Stripping everything down to the bare, to just take away all the bloated margins of so many industries, and just basically taking all those savings and just passing them on to the customers. And you can't say that they haven't been doing a good job. I mean, people love buying in Amazon. Nobody's forcing anybody to buy in Amazon. Right? I get boxes here all the time. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I ordered this. Right? So this is very important, because every layer that you go, every layer from the board, the C-suite, maybe senior management, then junior management, every layer that you go, if this is not clear, when you get to the bottom, it'll just get lost. It won't carry. People won't be moved to do these things. It's completely impossible to create a manual, an operator's manual for your business that details every step to take in every single situation. It's impossible. This is why vision and culture and this missionary human things, they have to be human, right? They can't be, we're going to make a lot of money. That's being a mercenary. It doesn't carry, because money is just a means to an end. It's not the end in itself. So it's always missing pieces. Now, if you want to make money so you can help in some way, some form, or you want to make money so you can make a difference in whatever, that starts to be a little more human. And so, but again, then the idea is not to make money. Money is just something that you need to get to your real goal. Okay, so if you don't have that clear, the further down you go removed, then you go to the bottom, to the people who work in the stores, people that are actually mopping the floors and actually doing the stuff where the rubber meets the road. They don't have any of this. It's gonna be long gone. I mean, if you don't have it at the top, right, at the bottom, it's gonna be completely over, right? So this is so important because, again, we're talking about human motivation. We're talking about what really carries movement, what carries mission, what carries people to do the things that are right for the company. I mean, just think about United Airlines, right? It's just, we just got to get this guy off this plane. Okay, so and obviously that wasn't a good move. So and then I wanted to contrast it real quick with Walmart. Now I think that Sam Walton had a very clear vision of frugality, very much like Bezos. But since he's been gone, I think that's been sort of lost. And I think the Walton family as a whole, I think they're making some big mistakes by not doing this, by not really focusing on this, and it's not traveling down. And so it's kind of like just sitting there, and they're basically living off the momentum. But I mean, Warren Buffett earlier this year withdrew, Berkshire Hathaway 89% of his stake in Walmart. It's no coincidence. He's looking at these things, and I think he's right on the money. So no pun intended. So culture. So that was the first takeaway. Second takeaway, let's talk about Amazon. And so let's talk about Amazon. That's what my good mentor John Paul Mendoza he tells me, Gabe, the world is getting Amazoned, and isn't this the truth? Okay, and this is important for us to realize because, and this is the second takeaway, because Amazon is setting the standard for a lot of the things. So let's say maybe you're not selling things on Amazon, but you are selling things, and you also want to sell things on the internet. Maybe you have an e-commerce site. If you're, for example, charging for shipping, right? I think you're making a mistake. And the reason is because Amazon is setting the standard that shipping takes 2 days. And it's free. Okay? So this is what people are expecting. People are like, this is becoming a norm. This is becoming like the thing that, everybody, that's what we do. And so if you don't do that, you can violate. I mean, anybody can violate. I can start my own airline and charge people to wear their shoes in the plane. I can do anything I want, right? But that's not going to be the norm. I'm going to be violating the norm, and I'm going to have consequences in the marketplace. People are going to be like, you know what? I don't want to fly in your airline because I don't want to have to pay for wearing shoes, right? And so the same thing is true here. So if you're not doing this, if you're not following their lead, then you're gonna have some consequences that you're gonna be living with. So that's the first. That's the second takeaway. Really think about what Amazon is doing and how that is really being influenced. I think I heard that something like 43% of all transactions last year were done in Amazon, which is crazy. So this is very important. Also, I met a lot of people who are selling stuff on Amazon, okay? And some people are making some good money selling on Amazon. But again, I would submit to you, what is the mission there? Is there a mission? And I don't think there is. And since I don't think there is, I don't think it's meant to last. And what you got to understand is that Amazon is basically using the sellers for information about buyers, for information about products, for information about what gets people buying, what kinds of pictures, what kinds of descriptions, what kinds of reviews, what kinds of margins. But their whole idea, right? That's their mission. That's Amazon's mission, right? They're going to strip everything down. So they're going after your margins if you're selling on Amazon. And you got to understand that. And eventually, Amazon is probably planning on just taking it all over completely. I mean, why would they, if they figure out exactly what it is and how to source it and just start stripping down all those margins, then they're just gonna own it. And just like Uber, if you look at what Uber is heavily invested in, they're heavily invested in driverless driverless cars, because that's the biggest cost for them is the driver. And so the minute they are able to take people places without needing a driver, they're gonna do it. And people are not gonna have that Uber job anymore. And so we need to be thinking about that, which gets me to the next point, the next takeaway. What's your strategy? Is your strategy long term or short term? Okay, well that's relative, right? It depends. But the idea here is, again, and I hate to. It's almost like I'm beating the same point over and over again. But it's really about how human can we make this, because that's what's gonna take. That's what's gonna get us up in the morning. That's when things get really hard. And if you've been in business for over 5 minutes, things get really hard. If you don't have this mission, if you have this really intrinsic thing that you have that moves you, you're gonna stop. You're not gonna go. And even if you do, maybe you're just not doing a good job of transmitting it down the layers. And so, yeah, when it gets down to you don't think that every company thinks that we're customer centric. It's like every company says that. Every company says, I'm all about the customers. Or I work with a lot of people that are like independent salesmen for different companies, and so one of the things they say, I actually take time to take care of the customer. Well, you want me to give you a medal for something you're supposed to do anyways, right? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So it needs to go beyond that. It needs to be like, and on top of that, talking about positioning, it needs to be different, because if not, then you just get lumped with the same old guys, and then you're struggling to even make ends meet. So that happens a lot. So long term. So think about this. We're always leveraging long term and high risk. Oh, let me do it this way. This is actually gonna be in my second book. I haven't even finished the first one, but I'm already talking about my second one, because this is an idea again I've been toying with for a while. So this is long term, and this is short term. Well, this is really just term, right? Just time. And this would be risk, high risk, and low risk, right? This is the things that we are leveraging in business, right? If you put some money down here, low risk mutual funds, or some kind of high return, or a bunch of bonds portfolio down here for 50 years, you're gonna make some money. You take $10,000 and doubles every year or so. You're gonna have, it's gonna be a lot of money. It's gonna be over $10 million. So that'll be great. But see, a lot of times we don't have 50 years, or we don't want to wait 50 years to spend the money, right? We might not have 50 years to spend it, so we might be like, well, I wanna be over here, or over here, or I want to be over here, right? So we're always leveraging these things. But what we have to understand, though, is that you cannot violate the principles, right? And the principles are basically this: anything worthwhile takes time. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So these are the things that I took away from the content and commerce. Long term, plan, try to look at it again, mission, vision. I know maybe it sounds boring, maybe it sounds too cute, and I'm trying to be all like philosophical about it, but I just think that that's what gets humans moving. And so, in other words, that will get stuff done. If you just tell people, look, this is what you need to do, or I'm gonna kill you, people are they're gonna move, and they're gonna try to get stuff done. But that's how revolutions happen, right? Because people get fed up. It's like, no, I don't like this. This is not cool. But if you make people part of something big, man, they'll die for the cause, happily, and sometimes tragically. But it doesn't have to be something. Hopefully, not something crazy like that. So don't use this advice to create a new regime that kills people. But really, think about something that's really meaningful to you personally, right? I met a couple that they sell construction home improvement products, and it happened that one of them, he was in the construction industry for a long time, so he has a thing. And so I started asking him, well, are you emotionally invested in this? Right? What's your story behind it? Is there a story? And I think there's a great story. I think the construction industry is an industry that is ripe for somebody to really do something awesome, because it's an industry that has not experienced not productivity growth. They've lost 50% productivity since the 1960s here in the U.S., which is crazy when you think about it. Because they don't spend any money on R&D or stuff, they just hire a lot of people, and when things get rough, they just fire them all. So, anyways, that's another video. But the idea is to really start looking at it humanly and to look at it for the long term. If you think it's gonna work, if not, if you just want to put a band-aid on and just kind of go, that's great. But again, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna be something that you're spending your life. We're spending our life at work. We're spending our life doing these things. We might as well make them meaningful. Might as well have fun. We spend so much time in it, right? So anyways, that's my take on that. Great. I will be, like I said, in Las Vegas next month, and then might even venture to Europe in November. But that's that would be a stretch. But maybe we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Keep sending me your messages. I'm putting a little program together because there's just been some talk about some. I have some friends that own agencies, like advertising agencies, and there's been some talks about how to structure deals and why they're having a hard time structuring deals, which is. It's just a sales thing. So I want to put something together for that. So I'm going to make an announcement. It probably won't be free because I sort of have a lot of IP, a lot of that intellectual property that I don't necessarily want to give away just for nothing. But definitely reach out to me if you're interested in knowing about how to structure some of these deals, because there's lots of ways to do it. And also that will help you get some better clients, some higher paid clients, and it's one of those things. It takes knowing a whole lot of different strategies, and it takes a kind of person that can execute all of those, or just a team that can actually do it. Some people might be better at this part of the delivery, and then somebody else is doing the selling, and somebody else is doing the marketing because that's what they're good at, which is what I recommend, because it's very hard to be good at everything. I don't think anybody really is good at everything. They might just be mediocre at everything. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And did I miss anything? No, I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm sorry I don't see your comments because I have the thing flipped around so you can actually see me writing not backwards. but anyways, keep sending me your messages and your comments, and I'll be posting this on my website. Ciao, ciao.